that particular game ongoing now in the Olympics. Spain are still leading Morocco by 2-1. Well, on the program this evening on Monday Night Football, we are going to be joined by Coach Adeyemi Anthony, a former stationary stores of Lagos attacking and defensive midfielder. He had stints at India National FC New Delhi, Sail FC there in India as well, and Vietnam's Dana NGFC. He's currently a trainer with a UEFA license and has worked with numerous clubs, and of course he's still working there in Switzerland where he is currently based. It's a pleasure to have you on Monday Night Football, Coach Adeyemi.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Wisdom.
All right, thank you. I have my colleague here in the studio saying hi.
Hello to you. Hello to everyone in the studio. I'm glad to be here.
All right, pleasure is ours. All right, let's get started, if you don't mind, Coach Adeyemi. Let's start off with what is happening in the Olympics. I don't know how you feel about the Super Falcons' early exit. And when you look at the fact that Brazil and Spain from the same group as Nigeria are going to be meeting once again, more like a renewed hostility in the semi-final, does that mean that really we should cut the Super Falcons some slack in terms of their inability to get a win?
To be honest with you, they say to be forearmed is to be forewarned. You know, before the Olympic, after playing two matches against South Africans in Nigeria and South Africa, we saw that we scored with only penalty, and we went to South Africa to go and play goalless draw. I said it immediately after the game. I said in the Afro Sports, I said Nigeria, the Super Falcons, have a lot of work to do if they want to go far in the tournament. Otherwise, they're just going to be among the numbers of the teams that went to the Olympic, the female team that went to Olympic. Seeing their outing in the Olympic is, for me, it's not a surprise, because I know that I have a little bit doubt with the tactical know-how and technical know-how of the coach, because for the first 4 years I have seen that he has been defensive minded. He has been playing one system, which is 4-2-3-1. Up to date, he played the same system. So against Brazil, Brazil should have been the match that we could have won to get the 3 points that we needed to be the best team to qualify in our group. But unfortunate that we have to, the guests are too wasteful, because I remember I told him that where you have to work on before the Olympic is just the attacking minded. You have to be at the attacking position, because I can see that in attacking position we lack the ability to put the ball at the back of the net. And even when you look at the team collectively, the team is not also the decoration, even at collective play with the ball, without the ball, their desire to win the ball, the second ball back whenever you lose the ball is lacking in that team. So you see them, they have the determination that is good, they have the defensive minded discipline, but whenever they have the ball, they play the long ball, which is the offensive minded. You see that the implementation of the system the coach puts them, I think the system have set them back.
Coach Adeyemi, like you pointed out, they created numerous chances. If I have to flash back, I could remember that of Rashidat Ajibade bearing down the goal, had the goalkeeper in front of her, but she couldn't tuck that away. There were some other chances clear-cut like that. Are you blaming the coach for missing some of those chances?
One thing I want you to understand is when you talk about attacking, when you are attacking as a team, definitely you know where the first striker is going to run, the second striker and the left winger, the position they are going to run. If you see the goal the lady missed, the pull out was 50-50. She have to stretch her leg to try to touch the ball before the ball go over the bar. So what I'm trying to say is, as a coach, if we see our attacking minded system, we don't attack in coordinative. We attack always in one-on-one or two against one to bring the ball out. But if you watch other Spain, or you watch Brazil, or you watch the Japanese, you see that when they're attacking, they have always 3 options. The only option Ajibade has in that movement is just one option, and she decided to put the ball back to the second side of the post. So supposing you have other 2-3 options, you could have give the ball to the person that is more easier to tap the ball into the net. So that's why I said sometimes you have to attack. When you watch a team, you don't just watch how he lose the goal. You have to look how the movement came.
Let's leave the female category now and talk about the male. I mean, you played football, a retired footballer. I don't know if you're worried. You're equally a football fan, a fan of Nigeria's football. Morocco are currently engaging Spain in the semi-finals of the male football event of the Olympics, and there is no Nigeria there. Does that worry you?
My brother, it's worry. No Nigeria, no patriotic Nigeria that will not be worried when you don't see your country flag in the Olympic. You know, for me, I'm very very worried because the last I would say last 15 years things has not been working for our youth team because of from the moment they have introduced this MRI, we have this problem to dominate Africa and the world the way we used to do. But now it is so for me now. I think there's a lot of work to do for us to come back to the past glory.
All right. I mean, you mentioned the last 15 years. Some think that our football is on a decline. Some feel that a lot of things are going wrong in our football system. Talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. Now talk about the female football in the continent. We used to dominate, but it's not the case in the last 5 years or so. Is our football irredeemable, or you think that something can be done to salvage our football system?
Yeah, but like I said earlier, if you flash back after Munich won the under 15, under 17 to 2015, after then we have not been doing well in the junior category. Whether we go out from the WAFU B, or that we go out in quarter, we take the fourth place, or we go to World Cup, we go out in quarter final. One thing I want you to understand that our football at the moment, in our national team, I will talk about our national team. Our national team at the moment, we are not doing well because there is no transition from junior cadre to senior cadre. So, but when you look at the last 18 months or 2 years now, our league has been functioning well. We have been getting a good atmosphere in the stadium. We have been seeing team going to away match to go and get 3 points. So there is an improvement in the league system. But now what is the major problem for us right now is now that there's the MRI, we are backward.
Is that the reason you think you are the right man to lead the Flying Eagles? That's the under 20 team. You talked about transition. I mean, for you to even transit a player to the senior cadre, such a player will have to prove that he or she has what it takes to actually perform at the highest level, because we're talking about the men's senior national team here, the Super Eagles. Obviously, there are players coming from Europe. For you to find yourself there, you have to prove that you have what it takes. Is that why you think you are the right man to lead the Flying Eagles into the future?
I think, not I think. I believe that I am the right man to lead the Flying Eagles to the first World Cup, to bring the World Cup to Nigeria. Why? I want to make you to understand something. This football, I played it to the highest level. I played to professional level. I play both at home and abroad. And secondly, after playing 10 good years in professional football in abroad, I turned into to coach. So for the past 15 years, I've been a coach. And for good 11 years, I have coached junior youth team from under 16, under 14, under 16, under 17, under 23. And every year, at the first 6 months, for every youth team I have trained, I have made a transition from junior cadre to senior cadre to the first team. And some of them now are playing semi-professional league now in Switzerland here. And some of them right now is playing professional league with FC Winterthur, which is Super League. I can even mention the name if you want me to mention their name. So why I'm saying this to you is that you need someone who understands how to develop players, how to put the principle, how to build the player confidence, how to make the player to be focused, how to make the player to be more disciplined, how to make the player to be more determined, how to make the player to know what is called collective football and individual football. In many cases, when we see our youth football for the past 8 years, you see in WAFU Cup, you see in World Cup, you see that we believe always on pace and strength. But football has gone beyond that. Football now is the technical technology. You need now tactical aspect and technical aspect to input into the players to teach them what is the basic principle of the game, where how you can play from zone 1 to 2 to 3, how you can play from zone 1 to 3. There must be a situation that you can have to play in dynamic system. But at the moment now, when you see our players, you just ask, they cannot play 2 to 3 passes together. And when they are playing against a team that are more organized, that are more disciplined, that more tactically good, it will find it difficult to outplay them. So for me, I think at this moment, at this stage of time, if the NFF, they can look towards my direction, I think they will never have the cause to regret that they call for my service.
Well, if you're just tuning in, it is Monday Night Football on the flow of God's own state, and we are currently having a chat with Coach Adedeji Adeyemi Anthony, who is a former Stationary Stars of Lagos attacking and defensive midfielder. Let me talk about what you would do differently. Obviously, most Nigerians begrudge the NFF because of the fire brigade approach towards tournaments. It's only when there is a tournament locking around that they will appoint a coach with little time to bed the players in, to teach them the philosophy of the team. At the end of the day, you find out that the coach will lead the crop of players he has to a tournament, and they falter and they huff and puff. And in terms of teaching these players, like you mentioned, the tactical part of the game, being philosophically sound and all of that, we find our teams falling shy. What will you do differently?
There's many things I can do differently, but let me mention a few. One thing I want you to understand, I'm going to build a very strong team. Secondly, I'm a trainer who train the players, first of all, the basic. And secondly, what I do differently is I'm a good developmental coach. I see your potential. I use your weakness to be your strength. No matter the time factor. When you give me 5 weeks to train to build a team, that 5 weeks is enough for me to build a team. Because what I can do more differently is I am some kind of I believe in a team for a team to play collectively. Because when you with the ball, without the ball, you have to know when to go for the second ball in collective, in 2 to 3 players to win the ball as quick as possible. But another thing I want you to understand that I have to put into the players that will make them to understand what to do. That is what we call pyramid defensive. That is how to form the depth in the first zone and the second zone and the third zone. These are things that is very, very, yet in the modern days football in technology. You have to work according to the players you have. You use the player you have to build a team. You build a team out of every player you have. So what I have to do now, again, differently, is for me to take away that mentality of strength and pace. I have to put more the technical aspect of it and little bit strength. And because I would love to have a player, I will have to put more intelligent play on the players. Once you are more intelligent and brilliant on the ball, it gives you edge over someone who have the space and the strength.
Before I allow my colleague to have a go at you in terms of the questions now, what have you done or what have you achieved in the last 5 years? Because when I looked at the criteria of the NFF for hiring a new Flying Eagles coach, they said you must have had a tremendous success in the last 5 years. Can you say you have had that?
In the last 5 years, when you look into my CV, you see that I won a league with FC Ruti, and also with FC Winterthur under 16. I was in cup final. I also won. We also won the cup final. That was 2019. So with the female team that I coach also, what I want with them again is I promote them from the second league to the from the third league to the second league, which is a professional league. So in these last 5 years, I have also been promoted from second as an assistant coach to the chief coach of a team which is playing Zweite Liga in Switzerland. Here it's an achievement for an African player coach to be able to coach a second league in Switzerland, because it's not easy for an African or a foreigner to come in European soil and give you an head coach in the senior team. Because for the last 15 years, as I said before, for 14 years I have not been an assistant coach. I have been a head coach, which I understand the basic principle of coaching. And but only 1 year I assist as an assistant coach.
All right, Coach. My name is Eminence. And I want to ask you a question and regards to the future of Nigerian football. Now, you are going in for the under-20 team's head coach. That's the Flying Eagles. In your own perspective, or should I say, if peradventure you succeed in becoming the Flying Eagles head coach, are you going to take it any step further, probably in the future, looking forward to a Super Eagles job?
In my life, I believe in a slow and steady because I started from under 14 to 16, 17, 23. Now I'm coaching a senior league, which is it is all about my desire. Definitely, if I have the opportunity to coach the under 20 right now, I know my desire will be to go to the next level, and which I see myself in the nearest future because I believe in my ability to deliver.
All right. So now, what are you promising Nigerians you're going to do if you become the under 20 manager?
First and foremost, I'm going to restore the glory of Nigerian pride in the African soil and in the world at large. Secondly, I'm going to build a team that can play together, that can be able to get into the Super Eagles can be able to profit from them. If you look at as I said before, in the last 6 years now, you cannot see any player graduated from under 17, under 20 to the senior level. Which is that one thing that is one of the plan I have in me, that if what has not been happening in the past 6 years, at least when I come there, I want to make the difference. Another thing I believe I can also bring into the national team under 20 is if I can be able to have as the head of the coach for under 20, I am giving you my whole world that if I can win league title with different 3 clubs in the Switzerland here, I am able to also to challenge the world for in the under 20 World Cup to bring the cup back to Nigeria.
Let me sincerely appreciate you, Coach Adedeji Adeyemi Anthony, former Stationery Stores of Lagos attacking and defensive midfielder. He had stints at Indian National FC New Delhi, equally played for Cell FC and Vietnam's Dana NGFC. He's currently a trainer and a UEFA B licensed coach and is working with numerous clubs. Is working with clubs there in Switzerland. Let me thank you and wish you all the very best in terms of your ambition.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, and do have a wonderful night rest.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.